It is December 28th, and this is, of course, the video log takes 30,000 to a million. I'm sitting at an all-time high, and after I take you through the account, I'm going to be talking about two topics. One, I talk about many times, which is why you should never copy anyone else with your investment style. And two, a little bit more of a practical thought as to how to enter into private equity through the public markets, because obviously private equity by definition is not available in the public markets. So here we go. I'm sitting at an all-time high again, 149,765. Just a hair away from that 150,000 mark. Pretty psyched about it, mainly because of Apple, but it wasn't a sole contributor to today's $4,400 worth of gains. So here are the positions on the right, option positions first. This is the ticker symbol, the strike price, whether it's a call or a put, and then the expiration date, number of contracts, and whether it's a sell or buy. And the numbers on the right are the daily change in liability. You can pause your browser at any moment to try to figure out the exact positions that I have. I don't have many options left, and this one's killing me here. The $2.5 calls that I have sold on until January 15, 2021. Could have had a few more $1,000s if I hadn't sold those, but it's okay. Still profiting, so it's good. And here is Apple contributing to about $3,200 of today's gain. They had a big move, and so did Facebook and Google and Amazon, and I think it's because of the stimulus package actually passed before the new year, which I was actually surprised about. I didn't think they would pass it because, politically speaking, neither party has really any incentive to pass it. They both want to make the other side look bad, so I'm kind of surprised they did pass something. And so what that means is that, everybody's going to use that check to buy themselves an iPhone, and then they're going to use that iPhone to buy stuff on Amazon and look at ads on Facebook and Google. So that's why these companies are up. I mean, that's the trend, right? So anyways, moving on, realty income had a little bit of a boost, and then everything else fairly flat. Uranium, energy fuels up $1,200, but I don't participate in any of that upside because of these options. As you can see here, total return is $7,000, but I have minus $4,000 because of the options so far. So my only profit, if energy fuel stays above $3 by April 16th, is going to be about $3,000 instead of like 7 or plus, however high it decides to go. And then moving down, everything else is fairly flat. Visa continues to climb higher steadily. Oh, by the way, Disney is also up today, so I guess people are going to be watching some Disney. At least that's what financial markets are betting on. Here's the account tab if you're interested. I have quite a bit of cash set aside now for new purchases of $14,500, which is about 10% of the account. And can't wait to get some deals. And right now, I really don't want to sell puts against anything. I'm waiting for a bit of a correction before I put some money to work. So I'm going to be sitting on this cash for quite a while, probably, if the market keeps running up. But if it does keep running up, then the stuff I own will climb in value. So I'm not sorry about that. I mean, it is what it is. So here it is. Energy transfer keeps killing me, which is the only position that's down. Everything else is fairly doing fairly well. Here it is, the account sorted by equity. Biggest positions: Apple, power shares, emerging markets, bonds, and then energy fuels, realty income, and the Russian market. I just got a dividend from the Russian market. Actually, it's $160, so that feels nice. Okay, so let's go here. And so for the topic today, first of all, I'm slowly realizing that this topic is not very original, day by day, because I've been talking about this for many years now, many years, about 2 years. But basically, it's the notion, and I just heard it on another show, somebody else was talking about it, so I just want to reiterate it, um, and with a little bit of a twist. So this topic is why you don't want to be copying any other trader or investor out there. And the main reason is that you're going to be competing for that spot with the style of that investor that invented it, right? That is doing it. So, for example, if you are a value investor and you decide to compete with Warren Buffett at that scale that he's competing, he's already won, right? He's already the best one. He's already got 500 million years of experience behind him, and there's just not a lot of space there, besides him. Like, if there's an opportunity, he'll swoop it, right? He does say that he doesn't look at the smaller markets and there's opportunities there, but how many people have, Warren Buffett posters in their bedrooms, and they have little Warren Buffett pens in their office, and drink Coca-Cola and eat See's candy and go to Dairy Queens every day? There's a lot more people there than you think. So these guys have studied everything that Warren has. Have you studied every single letter that Warren has ever produced, and everything he's wrote, and all the interviews? And do you know his method? And have you studied and put it into practice and have experience doing that? I didn't think so. But there are other people out there that do, and so you're gonna have to battle them too. You're gonna have to beat them at that game, and that's just not gonna be a good strategy. But if you are unique, let's say from a trading perspective or investment perspective, if you are unique and you find some kind of inefficiency in the market that you can exploit, then you can be first to that inefficiency for at least for a little bit until the market catches up with you. But at least that that you're going to have somewhat of an edge in the competition. So that could oops, I guess I didn't turn it off. Alright, there we go. You know what it is, the heater. California winters are just too severe. So those are my thoughts on being a unique trader and having your own strategy. It's just not a lot of space, and you're going to have to compete with the founder of that strategy too. So it's going to be a very tough road being a copycat. But you know what? Maybe your edge can be that you're the best copycat out there. I don't know. Think about that. Food for thought. So the next thing I want to talk about is how to get into some of the private equity. Because right now, once, this pent-up demand unleashes, and I think it will unleash, once travel is okay and everybody's all set to go. Many people have postponed weddings and trips, vacations for this summer, for next summer, and people can't wait to go, right? And when everything is okay and the green light turns on, it's going to be like opening up the gates, a bunch of hungry wolves into the, I don't know, when you come up with your own analogy. So we could be underestimating or overestimating that boom in demand. But one way to play this is the very, very hurt private businesses out there. So private equity, I think, has been hurt a lot more than the public markets, mainly because of the lack of funding, sufficient funding. And even though they've had help from the governments and the PPP loans and everything else, they're in a much worse situation, right? Things like hotels, hospitality, restaurants, and those are going to be booming again. And if they're a reasonably big chain or a decent company, there's going to be some private equity out there. And what owns private equity? There are some public companies that own outright shares of those, but there's a lot of publicly traded companies that own private equity debt. And that's the way I think that's best way to play it. So Right now, I'm in search of really, really solid private equity debt companies, and I know of a couple. Main Street Capital is one of them, but they're more focused on the manufacturing side of things. Like I'm more looking in private equity, leisure, hospitality, and restaurants. But I'm having a hard time like finding. Granted, I haven't done that much research to try to find the best ones, but if you know any, let me know so I can take a closer look at it. In the meantime, though, I'll just be waiting for better deals of the stuff that I do own to come up so I can jump back in. So those are the two topics I want to talk about, and really excited that I'm all time high, and hopefully it keeps rolling through the end of the year and so on, so I can finally get to that million, right? Okay, I'm gonna leave it right here. Okay, peace out.